So we'll start off, sir, now. Respected and Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Satish Kumar Bandari, sir. President of the Institution Innovation Council, Shri G. Sriniketan, sir. Guest of the day, an eminent speaker and successful entrepreneur, Dr. Shivkumar Ratnam, sir. Convener of IIC, Vivek Pai, sir. And today's host and my mentor, Dr. Shastri, sir, Principal of the college. And special guest, college, university. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So today we are here to celebrate and to witness World Entrepreneurs Day 2021. So which we thought we and the Shastri sir and Vivek sir was discussing who will be the right person to address the gap. So yeah, as we see, Government of India is supporting and coming up with a very, very innovative ideas and initiatives to promote the innovation and entrepreneurship in the young minds. So Nitte DMTV University Institute Innovation Council is very proactive in supporting and conducting such sort of programs. So that is why we have opted the right person for today's session, Dr. Shivprakash Ratnam, sir. So definitely, this session, we hope it will be helpful and fruitful for the aspirants who are sitting here. So with this brief introductory remarks, so I now invite Dr. Shastri, sir, to give away the welcome address. Please, sir, over to you. Sir, you are muted, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Vijay. You can hear me now. Yeah. So I should thank you for two reasons. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. For two reasons. One thing is, of course, you have selected the man who has proved his credentials, because when we go through his CV, we know he has reached a great height. Second, thanks for you to bring me and Shivprakash together, because we realized that we share the same college and also we share the same guide also to our post-graduation program. So that is why my special thanks to you. Having said that, you have asked me to welcome, which is really a pleasurable thing for me to do. I'm elated and I'm excited to do so. Today's for this occasion of World Entrepreneurs Day, and with the theme of Impetus for developing entrepreneurship mindset among the students, we have the most eminent person with us, who is the managing director of Synchron Research Services Private Limited in Ahmedabad, Dr. Shivprakash Ratnam. And I am sure that down the line, when Vivek is going to read out his CV, he is going to talk more about his achievements. I am going to limit myself to say that I am so happy that he is a pharmacy man, and more than that, he was the chief editor of Indian Journal of Pharmacology, and it is one of the most reputed journals in the pharmacology, and he was the chief editor. Now, what is more exciting is to see that he is the president of Indian Pharmacological Society, a person from a modest background, a person, he's our own man in the sense he's a Kannadi guy, he's from Bangalore, and rose to such a high position. And I see that he has started several initiatives like intervene labs or advanced phytotherapies and also novelgesics. All these initiatives he has started in a real sense of the term. Dr. Shivprakash is a great achiever, and I wholeheartedly welcome Dr. Shivprakash for this August gathering, and I'm sure that his talk is going to really stimulate some of our students, which is need of the hour. And also, I welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Satish Kumar Bandari, who, in fact, he is also equally instrumental in actually bringing the people together. Because unless somebody not apply to Vijay, because he is a proactive man, he always will be keeping doing something. So we have one of the most eminent otolaryngologist in the country, Dr. Satish Kumar Bandari, who is the Vice Chancellor of the university, under whose leadership the Nitte DMTB University has become one of the top 100 universities in the country. In fact, it is ranked 74th in the country, and also I am very happy to say that it is NAC A++ category institution. And welcome to you, Dr. Satish Kumar Bandari, sir. And also I welcome Professor Sriniketan, Director of IC, and I welcome, I see the presence of Praveen Kumar Shetty, the Director of Research, and also I see the presence of our most distinguished guest and our friend, Dr. Prakash Diwan, with whom we have been in contact for the last couple of decades. And also I see the presence of the heads of the department. My very, very heartfelt and warm welcome to you all. I'll be failing in my duties if I don't say a couple of words about the institution. NGSM is hosting this particular meet or the conference, and this college was started around 37 years ago, and now we are one of the top 50 colleges in the country offering from diploma to doctoral programs. And we have very strong labs in the nanotechnology, and we are working in the area of targeted drug delivery system and also novel drug delivery system development department, and yes, computer aided drug design and in silico studies, extraction of phytoconstituents. Because of all this infrastructure, and even I think Vijay has established one center for cell culture study also. Because of this, we have several collaboration across the country, not only in the country, abroad also. In fact, we are tied up with a company for nutraceutical testing with Costa Rica, and also we have tied up with a company which is in Taiwan for the academic research, with the university, in fact, in Taiwan for academic research, and several pharma companies within India for whom we are doing some of the research. The similar sort of thing what Shiv Prakash and his team is doing for synchron research services. Of course, there is a fundamental the entrepreneurship or the industry. The slightly focus is slightly different. Having said that, we do realize and we do know that in the days to come, unless the industry we collaborate with the industry and prepare our students industry oriented and also develop the skills which are required for industry, the future is going to be very bleak for any professionals, not only pharma professionals, for any professionals for that matter. The skill development is very important. In fact, a couple of years back, we had approached all the strong message to the students: don't wait for the jobs, don't wait for the companies to give you a job. Why don't you become a job creator and a provider rather than a job seeker? And I think that is the first area what today Dr. Shiv Prakash is going to talk about with his own personal experience and a lot of achievements in that area, which I'm sure is going to give a new direction to the students to excel or to find out the possibilities of creating some of the new things. Every entrepreneurship can make a small beginning, but you never know, you can develop into a great length. We have got several examples in India. Why India? In our own city, in Mangalore also we have got examples. A small entrepreneurship who started selling mineral water bottle, now is a multi-crore company. So like that, it is all ideas, and I'm sure that this particular discussion or the talk is going to give us some more ideas and impetus in this area. I think I'll be failing in my duties if I do not recognize the work that is being put by Vivek Pai also, who is sitting there. He is the convener of this, and also I welcome all other people here. So thank you, Vijay, and I thank the university also giving me an opportunity to interact with these people, and a special thank to Shiv Prakash. And that I'll stop because we all are eager to hear what Dr. Shiv Prakash Ratnam has to say. Ratnam, avare, tumba dhanyavadagalu. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such an brief welcome address. Now I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to deliver the opening remarks.
Very good morning. It's my privilege to be part of this very unique program. Distinguished speaker, Dr. Shiv Prakash, the Managing Director of Synchron Research Services Private Limited from Ahmedabad. I understand he is our son of the soil. And thank you very much, Shiv Prakash, for accepting our invitation to participating in this webinar. I congratulate our NGSM Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, the Principal Shias Shastri, and all the colleagues, senior colleagues, and Director of our Institution Innovation Council, Professor Sriniketan, and the whole team of Institution Innovation Council constitute coordinators from various institutions of the university, and also the guests who are participating in this meeting, in the webinar, and also the faculty and students of NGSM, Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, and other constant colleges of the university. And my dear students, it's indeed a very honorable and opportunity for me to participating in this meeting. I understand every year, August 21st, we are celebrating World Entrepreneurs Day. And this is very special day in this particular year because of the, the pandemic situation in the globe. And this has become more relevant, particularly in the year 2021, and creating entrepreneurship among the people. The purpose of the World Entrepreneurs Day is to create awareness for entrepreneurship, innovation, and leadership qualities among the youth. I understand this year the importance has been given to particularly the COVID-related entrepreneurship activities. Always there's a debate whether entrepreneurs are born or they are made. There are certain particular people have got something in their DNA to become entrepreneurs. As always, I envy the people from our district, undivided district, particularly from our Udupi district. You may be knowing that our band Udupi has become a world-renowned brand in hoteliering. And similarly, we got more than 4 large nationalized banks were started from our undivided district, Dakshina Kannada district. And now the district has become an education hub. We got varieties of courses started by people from this place. So entrepreneurship is there in the blood of our district and people from our district. And I hope this particular webinar also intended to create hone the skills of the people, particularly the student community, to become entrepreneurs. I understand very renowned speaker, Dr. Shiv Prakash, is going to address in this particular webinar, and he'll be going to speak on issues, what are the difficulties faced by the entrepreneurs. And there are a lot of lessons we have learned during this particular pandemic period. And unfortunately, one of the important quality of entrepreneur is the taking risk quality. And most of the present generation are averse to this particular problem of taking risk and starting entrepreneurial activity, because the various uncertain scenario prevalent in the country and globally. So I think some sort of encouragement is required to the newer generation. Things are changing. I am very glad to note that Government of India and even the state government has taken several steps for innovation and for startup companies. Lot of small and medium scale industries are getting a lot of incentives from the Government of India. And these are the very difficult the period, this particular period, we have to create an awareness as well as a congenial atmosphere for starting small scale, medium scale, and small industries. And particularly this webinar, I hope we'll be able to enthuse our younger colleagues, the student and younger faculty, getting involved in entrepreneurial activities and inculcating that habit of getting into industry and academia collaboration. I think we had several meetings like this, webinars, inviting people from industry, and we had meetings between industry and academia with the same intent. I hope this meeting also will be very successful and create an awareness among our student and the faculty about entrepreneurship. I thank you. I thank Shiv Prakash for accepting an invitation. I hope all my faculty and students will have very knowledgeable and very inspiring talk and webinar on this World Entrepreneurship Day. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best. May God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. So for your valuable words and time, and just pointing out the importance of the day. And now I request the convener of Indian Innovation Council at DU, Mr. Vivek Pai, to introduce our speaker to the audience. Please, sir, over to you.
Thanks, Dr. Vijay. I think I'm audible.
Yes, yes, sir.
Dr. Vijay? Yeah. Okay. Friends, it's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today, who is going to talk to us about developing an entrepreneurial mindset in students. Friends, who better than a first generation successful entrepreneur, a renowned scientist, a visionary who started not one, not two, guess how many? 4 pharmaceutical companies. Better be able to do justice to today's invited talk on the occasion of World Entrepreneurs Day. So please join me once again in welcoming our speaker today, Dr. Shiv Prakash Ratnam. Welcome, sir. Well, friends, it is important to note that Dr. Shiv Prakash Ratnam, through his entrepreneurial achievements, has truly lived up to his name, Ratnam, which means gemstone. Has been befittingly awarded the Udyoga Ratna Award by the Institute of Economic Studies in 2008 for his contributions for the development of clinical research in India. Dr. Ratnam completed his B.Pharm and M.Pharm from Government College of Pharmacy, Bangalore, and he holds a doctorate degree from LM College of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad. He served in Zydus and Sun Pharma in various capacities in the area of pharmacology and drug development, drug discovery from 1991 to 1998. Before he thought that he should now tread the new direction, new path of entrepreneurship. So Dr. Ratnam started his own company called Synchron Research Services Private Limited, a CRO, in 1998. Synchron is the first CRO in India in private sector, totally dedicated to BAPE studies and clinical research with a strategic partnership with Parexel. At present, he is the founder and managing director of Synchron Research. He also started Intervene, a central lab for clinical trials, in 2006. He is the founder and chairman of the company now. In the very next year, that is in 2007, he started yet another company, Avance Phytotherapies. The main aim of this company is to formulate effective therapies for those ailments for which there is no allopathic intervention. He is the founder chairman of and managing director of Avance. Later, in a matter of just 4 years, I am repeating this to the attention of my young friends, student friends. Please see this versatility of this man who has gone into promoting and forming so many companies, and that's why. Okay, so I just 4 years. Within just 4 years, he starts with one more new company called Novel Genetics Therapeutics Limited, a niche generic company which caters to the marketing of generics in Europe, UK, and US markets. He was also the chief editor of Indian Journal of Pharmacology between 2007 and 2009. He has more than 100 research papers published in various international and national journals. He has written many articles in various magazines and books and chapters. He has authored a book on screening methods in pharmacology. He is an extensively traveled person, and he has lectured around the world in the areas of pharmaceutical sciences. He has won many national and international awards. Udyog Ratna is one of the coveted awards which is coming to his kitty because of his fantastic achievements in the field of entrepreneurship. And he is also the president of Indian Pharmacological Society. Now, I think I can go on and on, but I feel for paucity of time and the rest, I will leave it to Dr. Ratnam himself, who would be giving a lot of his, sharing a lot of his wonderful experiences all through his entrepreneurship journey. And that shall give a fantastic impetus for our students. And as a product, the theme today, developing an entrepreneurial mindset in students. Now, that is the call of the day, with the government getting into the newer way of thinking and trying to, send our country into the next phase of development. We call it as Atmanirbhar Bharat, towards developing Atmanirbharta. Okay, here, therefore, I stop my introduction part of it and hand over the baton to Dr. Vijay. Vijay, what do you say?
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request our esteemed speaker to take over the session. So, Dr. Ratnam, sir, it's over to you, please.
Thank you, Vijay. First of all, good morning to all of you. Today is Saturday, I don't know. So most of the people, who must have been on a holiday, they're on the webinar today. So thanks for that. And, I must congratulate Professor Bandari, Vice Chancellor of the university, for really encouraging such activity in the university. It's very welcoming, sir. And I thank Professor Shastri, Principal of the Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences in your university, for conducting such a wonderful session for all his students. And Dr. Sriniketan, the president of IIC, seems that he has got a lot of things in his hands to run IIC successfully. I wish him all the best. Mr. Vivek Pai, convener IIC, thank you very much, sir, for reading out my CV. And it was nice of you to introduce me to the audience. And Dr. Vijay,
it was a pleasure for me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And Dr. Vijay, for pursuing me constantly to bring me onto this conference to talk to all of you. So it's wonderful to know that I didn't know that today is a World Entrepreneurs Day. So there is some day for us entrepreneurs to also to celebrate. But this is the day nobody is sending me the flowers. So that is the irony of entrepreneurs. Like they're just like Jesus Christ. They have to carry their own cross until they get crucified. So it's a very difficult part. Let me start with that. And also, today's talk is I saw the title how to really create a mindset among us, the students, to become like entrepreneurs. And it's not only students, anybody. For example, Professor Satish, Professor Bandari told that one of the entrepreneurs was just selling a mineral water bottle. Is a multi-million dollar industry now. And your region has been, the hotbed of entrepreneurs. The biggest being, Mr. B.R. Shetty himself, who is an iconic entrepreneur from your region, who became the UAE's second richest man, and invested in a lot of enterprises, including pharmaceutical industry. So you cannot get better entrepreneur and iconic person from your region other than B.R. Shetty. So I met him, I heard from him, how he became an entrepreneur. He's a wonderful person. I had the chance of meeting him in Dubai and, spending a lot of time. Such an humble person and such a great man. So your region must be really thankful to such wonderful entrepreneurs who have made it to the top charts of the world. And I must say that not every student, because a lot of students, you must be thinking, student life is not only studies and, they have to do many things apart from studies. So now you bringing in new dimension to make them think like entrepreneurs. So it is another tough job for teachers to create such enthusiasm and environment and ecosystem for them to think like entrepreneurs. So not every student will become an entrepreneur for sure, but they will all someday need to think like one, because everybody need to think like an entrepreneur. Whether me or Professor Shastri as a principal has to think like an entrepreneur to run their organizations, to run their colleges. So that is the rules are changed, and things are changing, the dynamics are changed. So everybody has to rethink the whole thing. The current students, will not work in the jobs, that don't exist right now. But as in another reality is, our current students will be the ones who create those jobs. So let me explain this with my own example. Most of the people who studied, until 1990 in their curriculum, I don't think they have read anything about clinical research. Nobody knew about clinical research. It was not even included in the syllabus, not even discussed. So only thing people used to clinically discuss in pharmacy schools were hospital pharmacy. Other than that, dispensing, other than that, there is no clinical research where we learned anything about clinical research. But dynamics have changed, world has changed, so we had to embrace. And I did not study clinical research, but eventually I had to start a company which does clinical research. So I was not a student of clinical research which worked in a clinical research industry, but eventually I became a student which eventually doing which I did not study in the college. So I started a clinical research company. So it doesn't mean that what we study in the college, what we are going to do in future. Absolutely, there is no connectivity in that. And everybody asks, what is that? What do you think? What is it mean to think like an entrepreneur? So the very, very common answer you get is with the mindset. It's not about the skills. It's not about learning how to write projects. It's not about ideas. It's not about project management. It's not about money. It's not about your background. It's not about your comfort. It's about the mindset. So many entrepreneurs, great entrepreneurs, their children have not become entrepreneurs. And people who have never did any entrepreneurship, their children become great entrepreneurs. So this is an example, the many of the entrepreneurs, for example, our own pharma industry, many of the entrepreneurs, it's not their family business. They're all, first generation entrepreneurs. Their parents have nothing to do with the companies. Their parents have nothing to do with what they are doing now. And people who have done created great companies, their children are not even in this business. So it's all about the mindset of becoming entrepreneurs. So in my opinion, it is about the purpose in life. So first of all, somebody, if you want to become an entrepreneur, I think you need to start with a purpose. There's some purpose must be there in your life. So my purpose, was to start in Synchronies. When I was working, I was well paid and I was very happy in my job. But I saw an opportunity when the government of India introduced for the first time the requirement of clinical trials and requirement of bioequivalence studies for providing any permission to the new drugs. So at that time, only few colleges, in Mumbai, where they were doing some bioequivalence studies. So whole industry was struggling to where do we do these bioequivalence studies? Who are going to do these bioequivalence studies? Absolutely, there are no bioequivalence companies in the country. So I saw an opportunity. I came out of my comfort zone. I thought, I found a purpose that, if I start this clinical trials company and a bioequivalence company, I am going to help a lot of medium-sized small enterprises to become big by registering new drugs along with the big pharma companies. Big pharma companies had a lot of money, a lot of what I should say, resources, and they had their own labs to do all these things. So there was completely an offsetted the entire small scale and medium scale pharmaceutical companies in our country. That made them really non-competitive. That made them struggling. It's like David versus Goliath. So the whole thing, came to that until unless you do a bioequivalence study, you're not going to get any permission to sell your drug in the country. So that is the time I thought, this company which I started in 1998 with just 3 people and 1-bedroom flat in Ahmedabad, which we could do at that time. We cannot do those things as of now. We'll grow into a big pharmaceutical company, and wherein which we eventually start doing bioequivalence studies and clinical trials for a large multinationals in US, Europe, and UK. So when I started, I was the only CRO, and now we have about 50 to 60 CROs in the country. And CRO business has become one of the mainstay business enterprises. It has taken the status of an industry. So I'm very happy for what I started in 1998 as a small enterprise. Today, in India, so it has got an enterprise value, and it has created a lot of jobs, and it is still creating a lot of jobs. And that is a purpose, one has to really define, what is your purpose of becoming an entrepreneur. That will give you some direction and confidence in what you want to do. And entrepreneurs, you cannot just create entrepreneurs. I just wanted to say, Professor Bhandari was just mentioning whether they're born or they're created or they're nurtured. I don't know what it is. Definitely not. They're not born. They're not nurtured. You cannot make entrepreneurs by tutoring them and creating a syllabus to teach them to become entrepreneurs. It's not going to happen. Every entrepreneur has to be a self-starting and self-managing purpose. There is no time for that. Even Kentucky, he became an entrepreneur at the age of 57, 58 years. So there is no age, there is no time, and there is no syllabus, there is no manual, and there's nothing which you can, write on the wall that this is the one which makes the entrepreneur. It has to self-start. It has to self-start, and they are the self-managers. They cannot have all the skills. I did not add any skills of accountancy. I did not add any skills of management skills. I did not add any IT skills, except I was writing few programs for pharmacokinetics, mathematical modeling. That was my passion. So except that, I did not add any great IT value-added capability to incorporate those ones into my businesses. I just had one idea of creating a company. So all the other transferable skills I learned all along in my life. So the present concept, people keep writing about articles, talk about lot many things about how to make an entrepreneur out of a student, creating syllabus, creating facilities, talking to them, so many and so on and so forth. But everybody has to start by himself. Like as I said, when you have a purpose to start something, then you have to do self-starting. So nothing like somebody is going to push you into become an entrepreneur. Somebody can talk you to, hours and hours, to make you entrepreneur. It's not going to happen. Because, to become an entrepreneur, you have to provide tools in the universities, like, other than teaching the science and technology, which is the main frame of the educational institutes. What else they can do to instill a sense of entrepreneurship in their students? So they have to provide a lot of tools, like, let the students choose what they want to, and works best for them. Create resources. I can just quote an example, like, what you have IAC in your university. That's an amazing example of providing tools, capabilities, and support for students to become entrepreneurs. Eventually, it may not make them become entrepreneurs. At least, they can start thinking like one. They value the entrepreneurship. In their mind, entrepreneurship will take priority. There is some seeding in their brain that you can become entrepreneur, provided if you have a great idea, provided if you have a purpose in life and what you want to do, and find a gap in the industry, what we are not doing. So there's a huge opportunity. So, for example, in spite of all the big talk about pharma industry in India, what are we doing? We are still selling tablets, capsules, and injectables. Beyond that, we do not see any new technology, playing out in the marketplace. So that gives you a fodder for thinking, oh my God. So other than tablets and capsules and injectables, we are not doing anything else, but we are doing it in large volumes, huge volumes, but without any value. So entrepreneurship is another way of looking at the value-added generics. Value-added generics. That's how I started Novel Generics. How can in Novel Generics, we are not selling any generic. We are selling only value-added generics. We are finding gaps. For example, bortezomib injection, which is sold all over the world in the form of a lyophilized powder. To reconstitute lyophilized injections is a huge cost to the hospitals and inconvenience to the patients. So we thought, why not we make a ready-to-use injectable of bortezomib, wherein which there is no need to reconstitute. So that will become a generic to a value-added generic. Vancomycin injection, for example, as of now, we have it in market, which has got low stability. GSK and Baxter selling their vancomycin injections need to be kept in -70-degree deep freezers. Hospitals who wants to use these injectables has to install deep freezers in their facility. And then once they reconstitute and make it liquid, its stability is just 72 hours. So we developed a vancomycin injection which doesn't need any defreezing, and it has got, after reconstitution, it will have 28 days stability. Like it saves a lot of money. The patients don't need to go and buy another vancomycin injection, which is so expensive. I'm just quoting few examples just to prove my point that how you can find gaps and provide tools and resources to think unconventionally. You need to encourage creative thinking, risk taking. So what is the biggest problem to become entrepreneur is the fear. Fear is the biggest barrier. Anybody wants to become an entrepreneur, thinks a lot and eventually fizzles out because it is fear of failure. So this is the biggest problem. So how you can encourage these students to come over that fear. This is a big challenge, I must tell you, that all over the world, the fear factor of becoming an entrepreneur is one of the most deadliest thing to deal with. The entrepreneurs are very, very common, ordinary people, just like anybody else. I am no special, I was just another student, like Professor Shastri in his college days. I was one of them, his junior. But he or me never thought, that we will become what we are today. It's a chance encounter. So it pushes us to do something which we never did in our lives. It pushes us to do certain things which we never even encountered in our life. So fear factor is one of the things. We are ordinary people. We have our own fears, and we always fear of failure. We are more fearful, once we start, we need to finish. We cannot start and just run away. And any entrepreneur which starts something, he has to stay there, sustain that, and and to create that the idea works. And also, many entrepreneurs, is not that everybody succeeds. Only 5% succeed, 95% of them fail. And failure is not a stigma. And I think you can learn lot of things from failure. Failure also gives you a lot of encouragement to come back with renewed vigor and new ideas and new purpose. So the failure and the fear is a barrier, and then that to treat your students and to make them, allay them with this the fear psychosis of becoming an entrepreneur is very big challenge for teachers, especially who are entrusted the responsibility of running the cells like IIC in your university. So I must tell you that Dr. Sriniketan and Mr. Vivek Pai must be having tough time and a big job in their hands to convince students and to run their IIC cells successfully, to create startups and new technologies. So I can understand that, and they should be the better speakers in the coming times, wherein which they can really share their pains and prejudices in running things like the institutes like IIC. So the fear is a barrier. So please, I must tell the teachers, to really work hard to help students, to come out of this barrier, because it was never taught to us. We have been taught to become good scientists, good teachers, good workforce in the industry. In our college days, we never learned anything about entrepreneurship. We never learned anything about encouraging to become entrepreneurs. We all wanted to become good scientists, good academicians, make our lives better by working in the industry, or maybe to go out of the country, to study postdoc and whatnot, and then to make our lives better. So this was the thought process. As I said, that the future, what holds for us in future, nobody knows. So that is a big surprise, we becoming entrepreneurs and talking in these forms and telling people not to do this, do that. It's all talk, but entrepreneurs in students, as I said before, has to be self-starters, and to keep on encouraging them to think creative. So you also have to encourage small successes. For example, you must be giving a lot of tools, resources, and projects to these students. So when somebody is succeeding, I think you should celebrate such small successes. You have to affirm it, to tell them that this is a way to do it. So it should become an example to other students. One student comes out with a great idea and does some project, which gives you small success, and that really creates spark in your own educational environment, wherein which other students get hooked to it. So you need to encourage and small successes and celebrate them in the institutes. And also you have to help them find a community. For example, what you are doing right now is finding them a community and bringing people like me to talk to them. And you need a lot of case studies to be done. For example, what we don't do in India is we do not do case studies of successful companies. We do not do case studies of entrepreneurial enterprises. We do not do case studies of failed companies. We do not do case studies of individuals who have made successful companies. So you need to create some resources of reference in your institutes for this purpose. And what you're doing today is just the beginning. Maybe this is how you can bring in success stories to your students, wherein which they can look at the entrepreneurs face to face, talk to them, and then feel their vibes, and that may influence some of the students to become entrepreneurs. They may see themselves in me. You never know. So that's a great feeling, to be in touch with entrepreneurs, bring in mentors, bring in iconic figures into your university, and make them talk to your students and your faculty. So that may encourage students to think totally differently, and they have to look upon somebody. Okay, we want to become something like that. So you have to create these success story methods. And I'm seeing that this, what you are doing right now today, at this moment of time, is that you are bringing me face to face to your students and your educational institute and to your management, so that the take home is what I think and what you perceive me as, like of any value to your students or your educational institute, or to the teachers and students and the IIC. So it may change the direction and thinking process to many of you in the community. So that's the right thing to do, and you are doing it, and I congratulate you for that. And I know you should create idea generation is another big thing, because entrepreneurs all entrepreneurs have an idea behind them. It may be a crazy idea. Nobody knew that a space travel can be a tourism. But we used to see all this in the cartoons. So what we see in the cartoons as imagination are become realities. So that is the world is changing, the technology is changing. So what we see was a cartoon, what we see in mythology, wherein Hanuman was flying, we see the machines were flying in the sky. We never thought, okay, all these things will happen over a period of time. We never thought, okay, people will go to the space. We never thought, there will be a car, which you drive without you yourself on the wheels. We never thought all that. So anything, idea generation can happen. For example, let me tell you how we started Avance Phytotherapies. So Avance Phytotherapies, we started as a company when we see a lot of diseases cannot be treated using allopathic interventions. For example, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, psoriasis, constipation for that matter. So you need senna, to treat a proper constipation, come from an herbal source, and many other diseases like mouth ulcers and many such diseases. For example, substitute to NSAIDs for long-term care of arthritis, the pain management. So we do not have any allopathic intervention, and if at all they have an intervention, it is not sustainable, it is not perfect, and it is not wholesome. So we saw, the alternative therapies may be very useful, and then we did a lot of research, and then we produced almost 40 hepatitis B and C, for example, hepatitis B and C, and the treatment costs so much, and we can find a very effective treatment to treat hepatitis B and C from natural sources. So that's how Avanse phytotherapies came into existence, and we have about 14 products to treat neglected diseases only. This company does not produce anything for treating any conventional disease. So most of the products are there to treat only Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, psoriasis, constipation, hepatitis B and C. And now we started a clinical trial to treat COVID-19 patients in severe cases. We started a clinical trial which is peer-headed by Professor Diwan in Belgaum, which we found is more effective than the antivirals, which were administered during the pandemic. So it is an idea generation. It is just an idea generation. How we can find gaps in the existing treatment of diseases. Like I said, we never know what we encounter in future. We never knew that we are going to encounter a pandemic like COVID-19. We were never ready for these things, and it just caught off guard, and our whole process changed. The regulatory system changed. People thought process changed. The company's thought process changed, and everything changed. And whole world became upside down, and we are in a crossroads. What to do and what not to do. So we need to come out with new ideas. We need to deal with such situations. That's how the world is made of. That's how the surprises come into our lives. So entrepreneurship is not just an idea or money, creating jobs. It is life too. That what is your life dependent on, how is a line, your life is on the line as an entrepreneur to do that. That itself is a very exhilarating feeling to become an entrepreneur, to find out a cure for COVID-19, or to find out a management therapy which can be taken for a long term for an arthritic patient. It's an amazing feeling to find out a vegetarian source of glucosamine to substitute an animal source of glucosamine, wherein which vegetarian people can take the medication for their arthritic problems, so on and so forth. It gives you very immense pleasure, and an entrepreneur life is not easy. It's very painful. It's not only the idea, it's not only people, it's not only the joy of creating jobs for a lot of people to come and work for you. It also brings in its own pain. It owes pain of finding money, finding funding, sustaining the business, and so on and so forth. So it is initially it feels very nice and it's pleasurable experience, and to become an entrepreneur, you have a great idea. So over a period of time, it is very painful, and entrepreneurs are made the true entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs will have to learn the process of absorbing that pain and keep on going. So once you start, you cannot stop. That's the problem, because it's not only your life, many people's lives depend on your life and your thought process and your thinking process. Not only your employees, your patients, your vendors, the pharmaceutical companies who work with you. So many things depend upon the decisions you make, the life you lead, the sacrifices you make. So it's all the mixture of so many things, good, bad, and ugly, to become an entrepreneur. So as I said, I can keep on talking lot many things. You need to know this, you need to know that, you need to know how to do a project management. You should learn how to do project management. You should know how to design a project, and you must have great communication, and you must have great managerial skills, and you must know accountancy, you must know business management, you should know how to read a P&L balance sheet. It is all just a myth. You don't need to learn anything except a belief that your idea can work, and you can be a self-starter. Rest all you can learn over a period of time. So people think they are making an entrepreneur. You learn all these things to become an entrepreneur. Never. In spite of you learn everything, you end up working for somebody else. With all these skills, of course, you can be a great employee. No doubt about it. But you cannot become an entrepreneur in spite of learning all these skills, getting equipped to become an entrepreneur. There is nothing like you getting equipped to become an entrepreneur. You're not a warlord that you need to learn all the fighting skills to go and die on the battlefield. It's not going to happen. The entrepreneurship is totally different. It's an idea generation. It is creating something which is not there in the marketplace. Until you believe that your idea is going to change the lives of many people. So it is just an idea, and if you are a self-starter, rest all you can learn over a period of time. That's what I did. And the best thing happened is, when I was studying in the college, we did not have any of these IICs, like startup ecosystems in campuses, like we have in LM College of Pharmacy and the Gujarat Technical University. They started Atal incubation centers. I think Mr. Vivek Pai and Dr. Sriniketan must be knowing about this Atal incubation centers coming up, and the government is funding these Atal incubation centers. So we see a lot of entrepreneurship among PhD students, wherein which these startup ecosystems have started absorbing the postgraduate and PhD students into their startup ecosystem. So that is giving them a chance to plug and play their labs, which was not there when I was a student. I could not find a plug and play lab to start something of my own, wherein which I have very meager budget to start my own company. Today with 10,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees per month paying, you can hire a lab in LM College of Pharmacy and start your own company. So that is an amazing thing happened to the new generation, which they need to take advantage. And I am sure IIC is doing the same thing to attract students to become entrepreneurs, and then providing them the labs and other resources and plug and play work environment for meager amount of money, wherein which they can become entrepreneurs and then eventually spin off those small startups into medium-sized and large-scale pharmaceutical companies over a period of time. But that's what I know. The startups ecosystem is so important in campuses, because every startup is going to do something new, which is not there in the marketplace. So that brings a lot of innovation to the industry, and that becomes academic institutes more sought after places for the industry to come and talk to. As of now, absolutely there is no connection between Indian industry and the academia. I've been saying this since 30 years. We just had a small meeting day before yesterday between industry and academia. Absolutely, there is no convergence. It's just like a railway track. It runs parallel. It doesn't converge anywhere. So the suggestion I gave to these people is, just don't go behind industry. They have no time. I think Professor Shastri told in his opening comments that they went to some of the industries in Bangalore, and everybody said that we are very busy at present. We do not, we cannot deploy some resources to have a collaborative projects with academics. So this is true everywhere. The only thing which may change this perception is the IIC and this incubation centers, where the startup ecosystem is going to take place in the educational institutes and universities like yours. I must congratulate, and I also encourage Professor Bhandari, the Vice Chancellor, to give more impetus and his own personal time and interest to IIC, because this is the one which is going to change the perception about academics in India. They think academics are just the creators of just graduates and postgraduates for the industry and other enterprises. So that perception has to change. That perception will change only when a startup ecosystem in campuses are going to be created. And I want some of you should study the models of MIT, UCLA, Manchester, and other universities, Oxford, and the University of Toronto, Quebec universities, wherein which they spring up a lot of technologies to the industry from the academics. They have their own business development groups, approaches about the availability of technologies, and they help the entrepreneurs in your universities to interface with the right industry, which will connect the students' innovation to the right industry. Now, for example, a student is innovating a patch. You cannot go to an injectable company, to connect him to look at his technology. So you need to talk to a company which is on a transdermal company. So I'm just giving you an example. You need business development groups in this startup ecosystem to connect these budding entrepreneurs to those industries outside of their campuses, to the right buyer of the technology, to the right company which will look into the technology as an addition or a value addition to their existing the products, or maybe pipeline, or maybe a technology, so on and so forth. So the use of the PhD students, especially the PhD students, and their might has not been really used in our country. They are just a neglected lot. People think they come for PhD and they do and then go away, but they learn. The PhD students can bring in a lot of value to your own institute's ecosystem, and to create a new startups in this thing. Anybody from outside also, who is not a pharmacist, want to create some technology, you can connect and tag some PhD students, who is working on some specialty thesis, to help that entrepreneur, to tag him, to help him. So for example, a medicinal chemistry PhD student can be tagged to anybody who wants to do a drug discovery, so that he can help that entrepreneur to synthesize compounds. So this is how we need to link the whole chain of entrepreneurial capabilities and our own resources to create an ecosystem. And I can go on and on. I think I just put forward whatever I could think of from my mind, talk to you about myself and my enterprises, and some of the tips I just made out, wherein which you can just pick it up and see whether what I spoke to you is of any value to you. And I am available for any discussion in future also, as an individual, as an entrepreneur, to help any one of your projects, or maybe a student to talk to me, and so on and so forth. So I thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, the Nitte University. I congratulate you for what you are doing right away. which is the need of the hour, is the right thing to do. And I wish you all the best and great success to IIC, and especially Dr. Sriniketan and Vivek Pai, who are on the other difficult side of the academic institute, and Professor Shastri to have invited me as a speaker here, Professor Bandari sir, Vice Chancellor, who has really been great of him pushing all of you to do what you are doing, which is the right thing to do. So I also thank Dr. Vijay for pursuing me, as I said, constantly, and preparing me for this talk. And thanks, Dr. Vijay. And I also thank Dr. Prakash Diwan, who recommended my name to you all. He has been always my backbone and the guiding light. And I thank you very much, sir, Prakash Diwan sir, and thank you all of you. And I wish all the students of your institute a great success, and I wish some of them become entrepreneurs and bring great name to Nitte. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful talk. So without presentation also, so you have given a lot of insights and inputs to the young minds, and definitely a lot of information is there from your 50 minutes or 55 minutes talk to pick out and so make their paths away. We have a couple of questions, sir. If it's just we will take. Being optimistic, be available always, and be ready to take risk. These are the main 3 mantras of entrepreneur. Sir, do you think a person with these 3 traits can be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, absolutely. I said, you don't need to do anything to become an entrepreneur. You need to find a purpose, and you need to be a self-starter. That's it. What you said is true.
The next question is how to create a monopoly in the market by very small idea.
See, monopolistic era is going to go away. Let me tell you that. Okay. So when Alibaba wants to become a monopolistic, the government came in and they destroyed it. So there's no monopolistic era is going to come because technologies. Let me give you a live example of pandemic. People have to give away their technologies, which they thought is going to be monopolistic. All their antivirals have been thrown out open for use. All the patents of the worldwide, the only thing everybody asked all big pharmaceutical companies is to open up their patents and let anybody and everybody do the vaccine so that the mankind can be saved. So when it comes to life-threatening situations, there is absolutely no monopolistic. Today, where is iPhone? iPhone is not at all monopolistic. iPhone has become number 2 compared to other Korean, the Chinese and Korean companies have taken over their technologies, and iPhone has to surrender some of their patents to these companies and pay hefty fee for dragging them to the courts. So the monopolistic era is going to go. So only thing, you can make your product competitive. Say, for example, what is monopolistic? For example, 505(b)(2) in US, you make a product, which is not there in the market. You have 8 months exclusivity to make your money. After 8 months exclusivity, it is not monopolistic. Anybody can do that. And people are getting off-patented products and making it generic. Where is the monopolistic era? So all those patented drugs which were there eventually become generics. When governments and communities wants generic products to be in the forefront, the whole world is becoming generic. India is becoming generic. How have we survived the healthcare? So we are running to the courts, moving patent offices to make compulsory licensing as a means to provide drugs to the needy. So when you create monopolistic products, it's not accessible. So when you want to make accessible, okay, of course, there are certain chances given to you. For example, in 8 months exclusivity to sell your 505(b)(2) product, you make money. So you have 10 years patent exclusivity, you make money. After that, there is no monopolistic. So the drugs have to come out of their monopolistic values and eventually become generic. So don't think in creating monopolistic products. They are not going to stay in the market for long. And of course, create niche products which will not be there for about 5, 6 years, 7 years. That's enough for any innovator to make money and create a next set of innovations for him. And that's what I think.
The next question is, sir, did you try your anti-hepatitis drug against COVID?
Yes, because the anti-hepatitis, the product which we are selling, which is a very effective one, we tried in COVID-19 because there are research reports now, very recent research reports that the hepatitis virus and SARS virus 85% are the same. So any antiviral working on hepatitis B and C, we assume can also work on SARS virus. So to our surprise, it is true.
Can I come in here, sir? Dr. Praveen here.
Please, sir, please.
Yeah, the soposavir is better than remdesivir. So that is what the recent report says. So the hepatitis C drug. So then your drug should be better than remdesivir.
Definitely, yes. Remdesivir is used if the CT value is more than 25. It has to be used in mild cases only.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Our drug, our formulation can be used in severe cases. Professor Diwan is here, who is leading that research. If you see the research protocol of the antivirals, the CT value is the acceptable criteria for having a patient to enroll into the trial is CT value should be more than 25.
Yeah.
Not less than 25.
Yeah.
We are using our product with CT value as low as 13, which is a severe case.
Okay. So it inhibits viral replication.
That's what we think.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
And also, we are the first trial, which because most of the trial did not capture the biomarkers. For example, the biomarkers are CRP values and D dimers. They're not measured in the initial trials. Even though there was no COVID, patients were dying in spite of the treatment, coming home after that also. That's because we discovered that it's because of the high CRP values and D dimer values, wherein which our drug we captured a CRP and D dimer values. The values are coming to the normal in 5-6 days time, which is the one which is a life saving.
Okay. This binds with the RDRP. RDRP. This binds with the viral protein RDRP. Maybe.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Now the last question is how to start a business as a fresh PhD passed out. First, we don't having any capital. What are the opportunities we have in terms of finance and women opportunities in terms of finance?
See, finance is going to be a big problem, and nobody is going to finance you with an idea. And the best way is to make the prototypes at the startup institutes like IIC or maybe Atal Incubation Center, where PhDs can start their own small labs, create prototypes, and apply for some small grants. So this is the source of money for budding entrepreneurs. Until unless they have good backing up of some pharmaceutical company wherein which they want to make their technology, they adapt his technology and give him some money. So the best ways to start is start as a startup in incubation center like IIC, create a prototype, create some data, and I assume that IIC also provides some seed money if they find some idea is workable, and that's how a new entrepreneurs can be started.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the audience for the questions, and it was really thought-provoking session. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Now, as a World Entrepreneurs Day, sir was talking about Atal Incubation Centers and IICs in our institute and university. Now, I would request our president to address the gathering and just give his thoughtful things and what we are doing at IIC. So, please, sir, it's up to you. Shiniketan, sir.
Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Bandari, our eminent speaker and guest of the day, Dr. Shiv Prakash Ratnam, MD of Synchron Research Services, Ahmedabad, Principal of the Pharmacy College, Dr. Sastri Sir, our Coordinator, Dr. Vijay, Convener, Mr. Vivek Pai, and other people attending this webinar. I must first thank Dr. Shiv Prakash for pouring his heart, extempore he has given. First of all, I must tell him that we gave him very, very short notice about this webinar. In spite of that, he has accepted our invitation. Sir, you gave a wonderful presentation, extempore, and motivated our young faculty and also our students to take up this entrepreneurship. I, on behalf of the Institution Innovation Council of the Nitte University, thank you first. Of course, today is a day of founders. Today is a day of producers. Today is a day of industrialists, entrepreneurs, and so on. This day, what they call as World Entrepreneurship Day, our Ministry of Education, Government of India requested all higher educational institutions where this Innovation Council is there to celebrate this, invite people who are in the field, who are founders of enterprises to motivate our faculty and students. As all of you know, as today what Dr. Shiv Prakash put it is you may have, first you should have some idea. Then always the leaders suggest that you should have some kind of confidence, and also you must have some dedication. So all successful leaders put it, the price of success is always hard work. It is not just coming. I know Dr. Shiv Prakash would have gone through many challenges through his journey. See, hard work, determination, and dedication, and also possible self-confidence. As Dr. Shiv Prakash has put it in his presentation, he says all other things will come. Your marketing skill, your vocabulary, communication skill, business plan, talking to the bank, talking to the vendors, so on and so forth you can learn. First, have some idea, have some confidence. Sir, you were mentioning about the challenges IIC is facing. Definitely, we are pre-incubation. Our Nitte deemed university has two wings supporting this activity. One is Technology Enabling Center, supported by the DSC, Government of India. We have in our campus itself where the ideas can be sold to the entrepreneurs and so on. Nitte Education Trust is supporting the Niti Aayog Atal Incubation Center at Nitte. This is partnering our activity also. Several such hackathons and several ideathons are being conducted in association with Atal Incubation Center already. To the question one of the persons has asked immediately after PhD, what should I do? Please come to us. If you have the idea, we have the solutions for you. As a pre-incubation and closely working with Atal Incubation Center, we will be able to arrange some kind of seed grants. Our management is very particular to support this activity. Otherwise also, recently after the medical hackathon for medical devices, we have shortlisted about 20 people will get around 50 lakhs. Government of India is giving through the Atal Incubation Center. We have shortlisted some few. So I am very happy as the president of the Institution Innovation Council, we will be able to support such activity. And today being the World Entrepreneurship Day, I am very happy and thankful to Dr. Sastri and Dr. Vijay, who have taken up pains to arrange this webinar, and that too from a person who has gone through this exercise, founder. And thank you once again, sir, Dr. Shiv Prakash, for presenting your journey of this entrepreneurship. And definitely, after listening to your extempore from the heart presentation about how to become an entrepreneur, some people would have got inspired from your talk. Hopefully, they will approach us through their ideas or approach Dr. Sastri. And other people are there as mentors. We have got centers of excellence who will be thrown open to our students. We will be helping them to develop, because the ministry wants us to create an ecosystem here for entrepreneurship. That is our main job. I think from last December, we are doing this kind of webinars and support and hackathons. I do hope that our students and faculty will take this and definitely people like Dr. Shiv Prakash Ratnam and so many other entrepreneurs will be talking to us in the next 3 days. We are celebrating for the next 3 days. Several of such successful entrepreneurs will be presenting their journey. I do hope our faculty and students will get inspired. Once again, I must thank Dr. Shiv Prakash for his talk, Dr. Sastri and Dr. Vijay for organizing this event on behalf of the IAC. I thank all the participants also because I'm very happy as the president of the Institution Innovation Council. This day will definitely be one of the important activities of our Innovation Council. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So you were so kind and supportive always behind these sort of activities. So as a president at Nitte DU, thank you very much, sir. Now I would request Shastri sir to make some comments on the talk to conclude before concluding.
And no major comments, Vijay. I only wish that what all of us are trying to do is try to bring, especially Shiv Prakash was telling about our postgraduates and doctoral students to think in these directions. I think we have a task in our hand as educators or their mentors to bring them together. And I'm very happy that Professor Sriniketan has told that if there is a bright idea which can be worked out, we are the university and the Nitte is always thinking of supporting these students. So that's a wonderful message for the people. I wish I had when I started my career, I had such an opportunity. Somebody telling that I'll give you a couple of lakhs rupees. Why don't you start doing something?
Even today is not late, sir.
Anyway. No, I'm thinking of a couple of projects. I'll come to you, Sriniketan. Yeah. Thank you very much. That is my message. And I'm sure Vijay, you, me, and all the colleagues of the college should really try to get at least 3-4 of them. And along with them, we can also work together. I have been telling that I would like to be a partner in your venture or some adventure. So let us do it. That is the future. That is where it lies. That is my message. And thanks to Shri Prakash. And Shri Prakash, I will be in touch with you in the days to come also. I think we can come together with some bright ideas because, we have a common friend with Prakash Diwan. And I think we have to take the things forward for the betterment of individual, institution, as well as nation. That's what my message is. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your welcome address and for your these concluding remarks also. So let's, before going to give the concluding remarks, I just wanted to announce that we are announced 2 events at this World Entrepreneurship Day. One is 21st today, and in this occasion only we are just celebrating with another talk on Tuesday. So that is on 24th. So Dr. G.V. Ramanjanayulu, so who is the founder of Sustainable Agriculture Development in Hyderabad, he is going to be a speaker. So it is just for the notice to the audience. So let me conclude formally. So first and foremost, I would like to place on records my heartfelt gratitude to our Chancellor, Sri N.V. Hegde sir, and Pro Chancellor Vishal sir, and Shantaram Shetty sir. So for their support from the management behind such kind of events. Thank you very much, sir, for constant support to us. I would like to thank from the bottom of my heart to our Honorable Vice Chancellor. So ever supporting, ever smiling, always. So he is with us. So despite of very tough schedule, so he has given his time and for delivering the vote of thanks. Thank you very much, sir. So I would like to thank our registrar and the management, other management people, and I would like to place on records my thanks to our president of the IIC, Dr. Shiliketan sir. So you were so kind and you were so supporting in behind all these events. So as you have mentioned from last December, we are doing it on and on in every 2 months. So every monthly twice. So thank you so much for the support, sir. So I would like to thank our own principal, so our mentor, Dr. Shastri sir, so for his support and for delivering the welcome address today. And I would like to thank our convener of the IIC, so Vivek sir, so who is with me behind all these events and assisting and supporting and guiding me right from the flyer and till the feedback form and the certification and all. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to extend my special thanks to our esteemed speaker, so successful entrepreneur, Dr. Shuprakash sir. Sir, thank you so much. I understand I have called you on 17th evening, so for 21st talk, so it's not fair on us, but ministry pressured us to do it on 21st. Thank you so much for accepting such a short notice and delivering such a wonderful extempore talk, which definitely benefited our audience. Thank you so much once again. Thank you.
That's
sir.
what I was telling everybody. Thanks to you for pursuing me. So incessantly.
Thank you, sir. And I would like to thank Prakash Diwan sir. So who is my mentor too from last 2 to 3 years. So I have been discussing with him in a lot of projects, and his own 2 students are working under me. So they are pursuing their PhD under me, and he is the one who suggested you, sir, and he's the one you always supporting first. So he came to our conference in the last year. So always he is with us. Thank you so much, sir, for helping me to just root out and to bring Dr. Shuprakash sir to this event. And I would like to thank our IT department, and I would like to thank our own computer in charge, Josna, for arranging this YouTube live streaming and all. And I would like to thank my team student coordinator of the Student Innovation Club, so Miss Pranita Jain, so for her meticulous work behind the flyer, behind the feedback form generation and register from generation and register management. And other than that, I would like to thank each and everyone so who are involved directly and indirectly in the successful conduct of this particular event. So on this auspicious day, World Entrepreneurs Day. So this is not the end. So definitely we are just coming out with the second talk on Tuesday. I thank the audience so who are registered around 200 people and who are all there watching this on the YouTube also. Thank you so much, and let's make it together. So we need to pick out a few points of Ratnam sir, and his success career is not so easy. So my students and my dear faculty, including me, we are inspired by your talk, sir. So definitely we will take as a take-home message. So definitely we will develop and we will help the students develop the entrepreneurial mindset in them. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all. So have a great day. Thank you.
And Dr. Vijay.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Vijay.
Yes, please.
Dr. Vijay.
Please, sir.
Yeah. Before we wind up, I would want to ask one small question for the benefit of all our students and the participants today to Shuprakash sir. Shuprakash sir, we all know that an entrepreneur's life is a mixed bag of successes and failures, a lot of pains and a lot of hard work, a lot of heartbreaking, a lot of comforts, and all those things put together. It's a fantastic mixed bag of things. Now, my question to you is, how do you unwind?
Yeah. Really, nobody asked me this question. Really, nobody asked me this question. Yeah, I really unwind very well. I am a musician.
Yeah.
Yeah, I professionally play music for a band here in Ahmedabad.
One Nation.
One Nation, yes. And you can see my music room here. That's where I play my drums, and I play saxophone, and I play trumpet, and I'm an amazing harmonica player.
Well, so also you are producing something, Shuprakash. What is that production?
Yes, our first album is out on Spotify. called Bhagavat. So we created 5 sets of songs, and our album is out on Spotify, and it is already available on many of the streams like Ghana.com and iMusic and lot many things. And apart from in the college days, I used to paint. I was a good painter. I studied Tanjore painting in Mysore for about 14 years. So I stopped that also. You can see one of my fine paintings hanging on the wall, the Mother Teresa painting, which I painted. And I play golf regularly. I'm a good golfer with 12 handicap. Won many prizes in the golf, and in the college I was a good athlete. And in 1979 to 81, I was playing Kho for Karnataka state team. So I was a captain at that time. So I keep myself fit.
Shiv Prakash, unlike most of us, your day has got 48 hours or what?
No, I see. This is another important thing, which you need to remember in life is time management. I have 4 companies to run, 250 employees, and still I play golf and do music and play concerts. And I had the time to learn 4 instruments so passionately. It's all about time management. How you manage your time. You have to strictly stick to your schedules. You work your work schedule, your unwinding schedule, your family time, me too time, because everybody needs me too time too. So I also need a me too time. And what is my me too time is playing music and playing golf, and I need to also spend time with my family. My son is a PhD student in medicinal chemistry, working under Professor Chabaria in LM College of Pharmacy, synthesizing compounds for drug resistance. So using so I need to spend time with him to advise him what to do, what not to do. So I have a pet at home. I need to spend a lot of time with my pet. So you need to have very good time management in your life. If you have a good time management, you can do everything in your life. The
So
people
your
who fail in their
biggest
life,
message.
the people who fail in their life are those people who cannot manage their time properly. That's all.
So your biggest message, you kept it for the last, for Vivek's question. That is the time management. I think that
Absolutely.
was the biggest message, Shiv Prakash, as I see it. Yeah.
Yes.
We all need to manage our time. That's true.
Absolutely. You can see our videos, our band videos on YouTube for pandemic.
Yeah.
We made a pandemic song, and we made a video, and in YouTube it's out there with my band team members. And I wrote that song. I also write songs. So a lot of things in life, and it gives me a lot of pleasure. And as I said, when you have a lot of tensions at workplace, this is the only way you can unwind it and become ready to go back in the morning to face those problems in the morning. So Mr. Vivek Pai really dragged me out of my cave, and just put me in front of you, just holding the rabbit in front of you guys.
That's exactly what it is. The biggest message is at the end. It's icing on the cake. That's right. That's how all of us manage to remain sane, That's how it is. Okay.
Absolutely.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.